Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Drew. Gonna have another exciting episode tonight of Cringe or Binge, the show where you guys can call in. And if you're not calling, you can vote whether the caller stays. You vote binge, vote cringe if you want the caller to go. Anybody wants to call in. Do you need relationship advice? Do you want to ask me any personal questions? Do you want to talk about any ridiculous conspiracies you've seen recently? Last week, Evac called in. It's 2 weeks ago now, actually. I missed last week, so shout out to you guys. I'm trying to find this Mega Millions real quick before we begin. I think I have the right page up, but it's on in a couple minutes. Cringe. Rich already voted cringe. Volume level's great. Steven David says that's good. What's up, Vic Meow? If anybody wants to call in, I got the phone number pinned in the chat. It's 651-321-3677. The show only works if you guys call in. Last time we had all your favorite truthers called in. We had Matt McKinley, we had John Levi. We had Flat Earth British called in. So just so you know who you're dealing with here, this is your favorite truther's favorite truther channel. Right here, baby. Now, after the show, I did get another call. They left a message. I'm gonna play that for you guys while we're waiting for this Mega Millions.
Yeah. At Drew World Order. This is Owen Benjamin.
It's Owen.
I know you're friends with Crocco, that little scumbag. It's all right. I heard you had all the truthers on the other night.
Can you guys hear him? Do you need me to turn him up? It's a message. Hold on. I installed the volume booster thing. So hopefully I can turn. I don't know how to do it, though. Sorry, I'm doing this all on the fly.
Me and Amy are sitting here listening to your show, and he doesn't have the most important truther on. Not the one who went through the Hollywood cabal, who went through the fire. The fire, man. I'm telling you, I went through the fire. It's like fire, man. You're never going to know what it's like to be in front of 90,000 at Wembley Stadium, man. You're never going to know that, Gamma. You're a Gamma. You didn't have any other. I heard John Levi. I was inspired. He talked really slow. I could understand everything he said. But you're a Gamma, man. You didn't have the real truther on. It wasn't like I was in Hollywood and on Alex Jones for a year to prove my loyalty to the truth community. I'm milking a goat right now, so, take that for what it is. Gamma. Tell Crocco I said hi.
Owen Benjamin, man, another big league truther. Shout out to Owen and Amy. I did see Owen. Crocco posted him at that town hall meeting he was at the other day. Looks like life's good. Looks like he's eating good. Good to see you here, Owen. Did the chat just stop on me or something? I don't see any more. The chat's not working for me anymore. Let me refresh here and see if it does anything. Hopefully that didn't mess up the stream. Yeah, now I can read you guys. I don't know where you went. All right, now our Mega Millions should be any moment here. We're going to wait for that. And then I don't know what we're going to talk about, man. If anyone's got any comments, issues, Fifth Buddha can hold it down, man. Fifth Buddha, if you want to call in. Good to see you, brother. Just been, also, if you're new here, let me just explain what this channel's about. No one's ever new here. I talk about these things from a perspective that I call post-conspiracy, where I almost feel betrayed in all these conspiracies. I've looked into them for 15 years now, and it's almost like come to the realization that the conspiracies themselves are the conspiracy, and that everything seems to be kind of planted in there. So there is evidence for everything these conspiracies suggest. And I've believed almost all of them at one time. And it just seems like it's all a distraction in my opinion. And that's when I started the show with EBT a couple of years ago. I think we read the writing on the wall and realized that conspiracies were going to go mainstream, and that debunking conspiracies is the new conspiracy. So I had put that video up, if you go to my channel, with EBT, like excerpts from when we talked about that jet fuel hoax and debunked that soundly. And then the people in the comments are still going nuts, saying, oh, we're shills and whatever. The whole basis of the theory of the jet fuel hoax is based on everything's a lie. Everything is a complete deception. You can't believe anything the media or the mainstream, anything these people give you, except for the jet fuel, what they tell you the capacity is of these planes. For some reason, that's the one and only thing that's real and can be trusted. That's what that whole theory is pretty much based on. That's the linchpin of it. So if it really was a conspiracy, why wouldn't they just lie about the engine, like how much fuel it uses? They could just say it's like a super advanced engine that gets 7,000 miles a gallon or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason to make up some of the stuff that these people think. Another part of that theory was, this is from the video here.
Across America,
Oh,
with
here it
mega
is.
jackpots, it's
Here it
Mega
is.
Millions. What's up?
No.
John Crow, Friday, July 29th. And
Get your
tonight's Mega
tickets.
Millions jackpot is
I got mine.
estimated annuitized $1.28 billion. Now, to win that money, you must match these 5 white.
No. Come back. This system's crashing because everyone's on here right now. I guarantee it. Oh my goodness. Come on. What happened? No. No. Yeah, Captain F-Tard was John Levi and Klaus Schwab. Butthole Winkler was Matt McKinley. And who else were you, dude?
Billionaire tonight. Our first winning number tonight is
high impact flick.
67.
67. I already lost.
45. Up next, we have
45. I have 4
The
and
next
5.
number is 36, and your final white ball number for this Friday evening is 13. Now for the mega ball number, that
Damn, I
is
didn't get even 1.
14. Again, tonight's winning numbers are 67, 45,
Bought only 1
57,
ticket.
36, 13, and the gold mega ball is 14. Now, if no one matches all 6 numbers, Tuesday's jackpot could be $1.7 billion. Play on.
They're just giving out billions now. No, I don't believe in the lottery or anything. I thought it'd be fun to just grab a ticket while I was at the grocery store. And, yeah, I didn't even get not even 1 number. And when I went there, it was like, I was like, yeah, let me get a lottery ticket. And the dude's like, how many? I'm like, well, just 1. The dude's like, what? Just 1? And like, it blew his mind that I was only buying 1. I'm like, yeah, dude, if it's like 1 in a billion chance, I don't think 10 of them are really going to increase my odds that much. I just bought it more as for shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? But back to that real quick, what I was saying, if no one's calling in yet, 651-321-3677, the jet fuel hoax. Look, if you read some of these comments on here, absolutely bananas. This dude was saying, hopefully I can find it. This dude was saying, like, since these things really take like 30,000 gallons, liquid gallons, what they do is they have here it is. They have a vast, listen to this, man. Listen to how crazy this is, man. This is how insane the truth community is and off the rails at this point. They have vast fuel lines running underground at all airports that are so expansive, and the trucks simply connect to the underground lines and refuel planes with advanced systems that are nothing like the gas station pumps. So they have according to this guy, Eli Kerr, they have fuel lines just underneath because every plane's getting 30,000 gallons. So underneath every airport, it must be like 5 million gallon reservoir every day because there's thousands of planes taking off every day. And this is what I said. So I said, since each tank takes 82,000 pounds, they just have 3 million gallons underground at all times. And Miami does 1,000 takeoffs a day. how do they maintain an 82 million gallon reservoir? Because according to this guy, that's what they take. And then this other person says there's a vast network of expansive underground pipelines that run to the nearest refinery. So there's just a billion gallons underneath every single airport. It's absolutely insane. Oh, man. What does this guy say? And then, like I said, wouldn't it be just easier for them to lie about the fuel capacity? Couldn't they just say, hey, man, this engine is so advanced, like it gets 7,000 miles a gallon, and we only have to put in, the actual amount, 12,000 gallons or whatever. They could just say whatever they want because people just would believe it, right? It would be way easier than installing these underground fuel oceans under every airport. And this dude says, yeah, they likely do lie a little bit about a few things, and it holds its truth enough for most people. This propulsion tech wasn't created by us. We seem to take shit and make it worse, so it looks like we invented it. Likely a hybrid propulsion. Lower altitude flights would use more fuel. Might be why these engines stall out at extreme altitudes. Not a lack, ... I think he says lack of fuel or something. Insane, bro. These are truthers. They. Everything is they. Them. Who is they? I want to ask them every time. Who the hell is they? And the craziest part, and I think it's hard for these people to process, is they're used to dealing with people that just dismiss it without even looking into it. It's hard for them to understand that there's people out here that have looked into these theories and that probably have even believed them for a short period of time, and then researched it further and realized there's really nothing to it. There's no substance to these things. So the number one thing these types of truthers like to say, or what I hear them say a lot, is that, oh, you just don't get it or something, or you must not understand or something like that. Just like if you guys saw QOC the other day, he had the one about airplanes, like there's so many flights and they don't crash. So reality breakdown, right? It can't be real because they never crash. Except for he mentioned like every crash was like fake. So if there's a crash, the crash is just fake. Anything that doesn't agree with the theory he's trying to present, it's not real. There's all kinds of crashes. There's the Value Jet 592, 529, whatever the heck it is, the one that I did. That wasn't covered. He said there's literally no crashes. And anything that there was evidence of it was dismissed. It's nuts, man. Dr. Bass Ackward says, my old friend used to fly planes. He died. His plane ran out of gas while he was circling, waiting for weather to clear up. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And these people here are going to tell you, why would it ever run out of gas? And there are accidents that are like that. If this just runs on like fuel or like compressed air or whatever these people think that it runs on. And the other thing is that it seems like, obvious, and even part of the mainstream theory is going to tell you that the vast majority of that fuel is used for the takeoff. Because once you get into the higher altitudes, it's like there's less and less viscosity, and it's cruising along in the jet stream, so it's kind of coasting, and there's no resistance really, or I shouldn't say no, much less resistance the higher up you get. And that leads me to believe too that I think it was Mark in the chat in the past, and I wish I could remember, Mark, if you're in here, if you could remember the name of that channel that you sent me, was a guy talking about what he thought satellites were, and I thought it made really good sense, was just that the higher and higher you get, the colder and colder it gets in the atmosphere. And then when you'd get to a certain point, it would reach the temperature that they would call absolute zero. And then the atmosphere itself would become what they call Bose-Einstein condensate, which this is just some computer graphic or whatever. But basically it would be like a frictionless environment where you could have something. If you could get something into that, like high enough into that atmosphere, if it got colder and colder and it got to that level at a certain point, you could have something where you could just give it a touch and it would just stay in a perpetual motion like forever. if you had something in this supposed Bose-Einstein condensate, it's like completely frictionless. You could pour it, theoretically, you could pour it in like a cup and it would go in the cup and then come out the sides of the cup and then off the, it would go off your counter and onto the ground and then up the wall and everything like that. Obviously, that wouldn't work for real because it's the hotter temperatures are here on the ground, but in theory. But so if you could maintain that absolute zero temperature at the highest altitude, so that way you could actually have satellites. So even though all those pictures I've seen of satellites all look like BS, and I don't believe a lot of that, what they tell you and the exact speeds and heights and everything, I just think it's possible if you're open to that theory that as it gets higher, that it gets colder, and eventually there's a point where it reaches like zero viscosity. Enlightened Mr. Peabody threw down $2 and says, WEF and NWO, not fake news. That's real. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of these things that are real, and then there's all this bottom feeding conspiracies for people to just endlessly get lost in, that you can look up, like the jet fuel hoax and likes. I mean, you name it, any of the ones that we've probably all looked into. And I don't know if you guys completely agree with me or anything like that, and you definitely don't have to, but I'm to the point where almost all these conspiracies are like fake, other than these things like, World Economic Forum, that's real. Even if they are using actor type characters like Elon Musk and everything to push the agenda, even if it is the actor-based reality, these things and these protocols they're rolling out are real. These UBI and, the transhumanism, they do want to get, you're going now from the phone into the wearables. You have the wristwatch now and everything. And eventually that absolutely is going to go into the body. There's going to be no phone visible. It might even just be like complete cloud computing. So you don't own the phone at all. And somehow you have a wearable glasses or something that you tap into it through that, and you can just move the screen like, Iron Man or whatever, just kind of flick your hand or whatever, and everything's done there. And then the other thing that's real, that's not a conspiracy, is the social credit system. I believe it already exists, and I know they have I wish I could remember the name of it. I applied for one of those like influencer links. Basically, if you go to chalkbodyoutline.com right now, let me get my plug-in. But I have this. This is whatever Wix, or not Wix, Willow, WLO. And it's just like Linktree. And then there's another one that's just like this, and it's for like influencers or whatever. So before I did this one, I did the other one, but you have to like apply. You can't just get it. And they just never got back to me. So I wasn't accepted. So to me, that's proof of like the social credit score and system, because you have to give them your social medias and everything. So I'm sure when they go and they vet my accounts and they see the social media accounts that I have talk about, the V and all the other things I talk about, it's just instant. No, you're not going to be allowed on this platform. So that's one form of how they already do have the social credit system. It's in place, but right now it's kind of behind the scenes, and eventually it'll be out there in public. And then when you click on my page or a page like this and stuff, it's just going to say, hey, this page's score is below this number, and further continuing interaction with this page will lower your social credit score. And then, like I said, once the computing and everything's completely cloud-based and stuff like that, you won't even want to interact, because then you won't even be able to get on that online at that point once your social credit score drops below a certain point and everything. But anyway, if you do go to the long-winded plug here, if you do go to chalkbodyoutline.com. Davey Crocco, you calling in, man? Phone number's pinned in the chat. Anyone needs some relationship advice? We'll do like remember Dear Abby? Hit the merch tab, second one from the top. Go here. I got a couple new shirts finally. Got the glyphosate shirt. I have this somewhere in my house and I can't find it. I wanted to show it on the webcam. This is what that's basically like the Roundup they spray on all these wheats and grains and stuff, and it'll mess you up. And my wife Layla did this drawing for me, so shout out to Layla. We did have another baby. If you missed it last time I was on, that's where I've been. I still have our last boy. He'll be 1 year old in like 2 weeks, basically. So it's Irish twins. Some people said, oh, hold on. We got a Matt. He said Matt didn't say there were no crashes. When I didn't watch the whole thing, dude, but what he said was he named a couple crashes that he said there are okay, the premise, you're wrong, dude. The premise he said is there's no crashes. And he said there's 1 million planes and no crashes. I'll pull the thing up. He says my Matt, its obsession is weird. I just like to talk about all these different truthers that are putting out like crap like that. We'll go to free voice right now. It says 100 million flights, no crashes, dude. That's literally what it says. That's not my words. I pulled it up right here. What's weird to me is the people that defend this. That's what's weird to me. And like it's a golden calf. You're not allowed to even talk about it. That's what's weird to me is the people that act like that. But anyway, get your glyphosate shirt. Also got the FJB KFC style shirt. I wore this to the Publix the other day. Got a good reaction. Aircraft have double to triple redundancy, EBT says. And also, they're like doing preventive maintenance basically almost every flight, dude. Like each and every single flight. It'd be like if you took all your car parts apart every time you drove it and like made sure everything was good. Your car would never fail, right? If you did that. Butthole Wink. Now, this is a Mandela effect because I swear it was Winkler, like Happy Days. But it's Winker 34. Butthole Winker 34 says, Drew, what's your opinion of Tartaria? Be glad to get into that. Woo! I think a good channel that gets into it is this Sacred Geometry Decoded. Shout out to this guy. I don't know him or anything, but he brings a lot of evidence that all these people that say these things could never be built by humans and stuff like that, or these mysterious marks on these stones, but they can't be explained. And he shows you it's all basic masonry. Basic stone cutting things like this. And Tartaria goes into here, hold on. The Matt Simp says, with that logic, why does anyone drive a car? What does that even mean? Oh, because EBT said if plane crashed all the times, nobody would fly. Dude, people, the Matt gaslighters in here are real. But back to Tartaria. I'll let you guys battle it out in the comments. Tartaria is the perfect example of what I talk about when I say like conspiracies have jumped the shark, and it's all what these people want is they want fantasy and science fiction. They don't want anything that's reality. This guy can show you. Davey Crocco, shout out. This guy's going to show you here. I don't want to play his whole video. He's going to show you what these carvings are that ancient lost technologists say could never be done or can't be explained. They'll show you a guy doing it. He'll show you a video of a guy doing it today, and it leaves the exact same marks. But people, that's not like fascinating enough. They want fantasy, and the information, it takes so long to get down so many rabbit holes that it's similar, in my opinion, to like almost like a drug or like a porn obsession or something like that. It's like you need bigger and bigger hits to satiate, your need. So you need a crazier and crazier theory. We do got a call here. Hey, what's up? It's Drew.
Call from?
Yeah, this is John.
To accept,
Oh,
press
it's
1. To
John
send
calling
voicemail,
back.
Press 2.
Hello, this is Drew.
Yeah, Drew, this is John Levi, man. I heard you guys were talking about Tartaria.
Yeah, bro. Can you fill us in? What do you know about it?
Well, I also heard you talking about the flying airplanes, man. And there's a relative correlation, man, between the gas in the balloons in Tartaria that you never need to refill and the airplanes, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I also want to apologize for being so hyper last time, man.
Yeah, I thought you were talking like 8 words a minute. I thought you were going a lot faster than normal.
Oh, I was really wound up, bro. Yeah, man, Tartaria, we flew around in balloons, bro. We didn't need any fuel but some helium, man.
All right, John, I got to let you go. I got another call, but thanks for calling in.
Call from
EBT.
to accept.
But can you hear me?
What's up, Drew?
What's up?
It's your boy Donut.
What's up, Uncle E?
What's up, man? It's your boy Donut.
Hey, what's up with this donut guy? In case you guys haven't seen it, I'm gonna pull it up, man. What do you think is up with this donut guy, man?
Wait, am I still playing like I'm Donut or no?
Oh, I thought everyone, because before I accepted, it says call from EBT, so kind of blew your cover.
Busted.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Busted, man. So there's this dude named Donut, and if you go to my backup channel, go to chalkbodyoutline, hit that backup channel. I did a video showing how this guy, it's like a fake Drew.
It's a fake Drew, bro.
It's
100% fake Drew.
Illuminati fake Drew out of nowhere. This guy has got 80,000 subscribers.
Yo, what up, everybody?
Getting
It's
1,000 people
Donut.
in live chat.
What do you think about this guy?
Bro, I'm really just blown away by him.
Like his
Came out
knowledge,
of
like he
nowhere,
has so
and it-
much knowledge, it just blows you away.
He's compiled all the memes from Instagram for like the past 5 years, and he printed them all out.
Yeah. What's with
through.
it? He prints them out. Hold on, I gotta show this. So rather than show you like a screenshot of what he's talking about, he prints them out and has like a second camera that he shows you like the papers that he's printed out on his desk. Very weird to me that no one's heard of this guy, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, this guy's got Santos Bonacci on. He's got
Everybody, bro. He's connected to everybody apparently.
Jordan Maxwell. He's got one of those
Jordan Maxwell.
One of those top crypto guys is on there. Everyone.
AMTV. He just did not Adam Green, but something Green. AMTV, top crypto guy. Bro, like everybody. He hangs out with Woot. The Santos interview, they start talking about Killa Priest from Wu-Tang. And they're all like, yeah, we hang out with Killa Priest all the time. What is going on here?
Very weird.
Yo.
And I don't get it. No, I've never heard of him. I've never heard no one that's
Nobody's heard of him.
And somehow overnight he's got
nowhere.
like 80,000 subscribers, and he's just networking with all the like biggest channels.
Yeah, getting 1,000K viewers in live chat, but the chat just crawls.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he's reading every comment too. Is what's weird too, because you can comment and you can watch his reactions to it. I've been playing with it, but
Yeah, this is what I was talking
100%
about.
Copycat. He's a copycat Drew. Even his damn profile pic. It's like a frazzle drip.
Oh yeah, he does have the frazzle drip profile pic, man. And he's Dr. Dave said commence hand rubbing.
Got the same damn t-shirts too, bro.
Yeah, he's got the conspiracy t-shirts. This is the weirdest part to me is that he has the memes like printed out and then he thumbs through them. That's very weird to me. But yeah, it's like this memes.
A slightly more evolved quasi-luminous, right? Like he's not drawing them. He's just
printing them out, and it's like literally the memes that we were looking at on Instagram like 6 years ago. It's like the exact same ones. Like Oreos has the double cross in it. TJ Maxx has the double cross.
Bro, did you know that the Illuminati, they do things on certain days, bro?
Bro, yeah, that's what he's like, man, they like to do things on certain days. Like, damn, that's deep, bro. They do things on days. So do I, man. I think I'm Illuminati, man. I think it's a very strange. It goes back to what you talked about. If you guys go to the Enslaved by Truth YouTube page, and it was one of those Mad Earths we did, and it was about where you talked about like when you look at YouTube holistically, and then you see these people they're all in like a network, and they all kind of share the same guests, and they kind of like cycle around those guests in that network.
100%.
So this guy's definitely involved in some kind of network behind the scenes. The same with these other people that are like his guests and everything. He had this like Juggalo dude on. Like, make sure I only get my truths from Juggalos. Oh, he hung up. It's a very weird channel. If you guys check it out, it's called Donut Factory. See how he's got the Cabbage Patch font up here. And then when you go to my page, go to my normal page here, I have the exact same thing. And he comes out, I say, "What's up?" It's your boy Drew. He comes out, he's like, "Yo, what up? It's your boy Donut. It's your boy Donut. And it's your Illuminati news." And he's always talking about like CERN is opening the portals and stuff. So that's definitely something that I've been looking into since I had that discussion with the UBT. I should pull that up for you guys. I'm not sure exactly which video it was on, but Enlightened Mr. Peabody, thank you, bro, appreciate it, said, "Words are magic. Most people are under the spell of the days of the week and the weekend spell, and it clouds their ability to receive revelations." I think you'll be weakened by the weekend. I think it was this one on EBT's page, the top one here. But anyway, that's where we started talking about when you look at this holistically and you see the channels that other channels network with. It's since we talked about that, I've been looking at it on other things too as well, like on Twitch and everything, and like, you know, even the gamer, like I'm not a big gamer, but I look at it kind of too, like I'm trying to like figure this out, like how this all works. And like we talked about there, it seems like it's some kind of almost like a pyramid scheme. And these people bring you up underneath them, you know, and then you bring someone up or whatever, but everyone's supposed to stay in their lane, I think. And you see it with like Dr. Disrespect. He's got Tim the Tapman. Tim the Tapman left Twitch to come join the doc on YouTube, and then they have Z Laner and everything. It's like squads basically, you know. It's like squads. Portals are opening up. Oh man.
Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news.
Shout out to Donut. I don't get it. I always think it's weird when there's like people that have to have like books behind them. It's like they have to. The guy on this one, he had the stream with Santos too. This guy had to have like books behind him. To me, that seems like you're like insecure or something of how smart you are. You have to be in front of a library. You see it on the mainstream media when they show like whenever they talk to like a doctor, like a doctor, a lawyer, they'll be in a room full of books. And then some truthers do that too. Vox Day, doesn't he sit in like a giant library? And who's that other one? The Ken Wheeler or whatever? The Ken Wheeler. I think that's his name, isn't it? Is that the dude I'm thinking of? Yeah, this guy. Does he have books? Maybe he doesn't have books because I don't really watch him. I know that there's some people like, yeah, he doesn't have books, I guess. I thought he did. There's some people that just love this guy. I don't get it, man. I've watched it a couple times. And there's people that just love this guy. He's so arrogant. And then I saw somebody like calling him out in the comments as being arrogant. And they're like, oh, what does that have to do with someone's smarts or something? And I would say like almost everything. If you can't take what you've learned and apply it into your life and being a human, then you haven't learned any. I mean, you can know all this. You're like a doctor at that point that just sees people as like a biological machine, and you have no compassion or empathy, and you just see them as a machine and a paycheck, and how you can like, you know, get that insurance money off them or something like that. If you can't use your smarts to break down those programs inside of you, you don't have anything, in my opinion. Yeah, JT says Rompadorza. Yeah, Rump and I think Pink Elephant and a couple other people I've seen just jerk off to this guy, man. HR said Kmart Butterbean. I mean, dude has so much content up here. I can't really comment on what he says because there's just so much, and I'm not about to watch 30 hours of this stuff to make sense of it all. But if you think you're going to watch this guy and just understand all of a sudden like magnetism and be able to do something with it and everything, I doubt it. But go check him out if you want. Pink Sycophant. Tin called him Pick. Oh, Davey Crocco says, the more you talk about Donut, the more videos of his show up on my feed. He had like Alex Stein, or I think he was on Alex Stein. So that's the network right there. You see Alex Stein. I liked that guy, like Commander Loser, Hater Earth USA. There's another network there because your boy Matt was shouting him out recently too, Commander Loser. That's going to be another part of that network, the Boomer for a Small Fee Voice.io network. Is when that dude Commander Loser, when he saw that Conspiracy Castle Alex Stein dude like blowing up, he's like, do you think it's possible? Do you guys think it's possible that this guy's been playing a part the whole time? Because I kind of liked him. And I thought he was legit, but no, I don't know. Now he's with InfoWars. Like, come on, dude. Are you that slow, bro? That's exactly what I'm talking about here, is all these people are in like a network. Not this guy, but the people you see that kind of all kind of rotate on the same channels. And there's like different networks, I'm assuming, behind the scenes. It's just like squads in like gaming community or something. They're a squad. And you're not supposed to like step on the toes of the person above you. Yeah, Alex Stein is so annoying. I don't think he's that funny, dude. Like I watched a couple of them and I'm like, I don't get it, bro. Like it's kind of cringe. Like anyone could like go into those meetings when he goes to like town hall meetings. In case you don't know who he is, I'll pull him up. But he'll go into these like town hall meetings and like so these people are like held hostage, and then he's got to sit there and he'll like rap or just say some really dumb stuff. Like honestly, anyone could do it. It does kind of take balls, but if that's your job and you're going to get paid for it, I mean, I think it would be pretty easy. And he's not that funny. Some people think it's like so funny. Yeah, here he goes and like, look at, he's dressed up like an African or something. And he went up to that. That's the dude that went up to AOC and was like, yeah, oh, my favorite big booty Latina. You really think they're going to let anybody from InfoWars like get close to AOC and say some stuff like that? Probably all rigged. So the same smaller networks we're talking about on YouTube, now these people are on like bigger networks and probably, that's probably cleared with her beforehand, and then because they want this guy out there, and then it makes her look like
Congress.
It makes her look like a victim, which she likes to portray the victim. And I'm sure it's all like a scripted thing. AOC. YouTuber dressed in scrubs performs COVID vaccine rap. And these people are like, yeah, that's so cool. I don't know. Not my cup of tea, I guess. Good for him. I saw him, I watched on his channel, he had Pod Awful on. Now, see, I low-key think Pod Awful's kind of funny, man. I know a lot of you guys probably hate him, but he's kind of funny to me. I just don't get the whole Pod Awful thing where it's like every single show is about like Mersh, or he's got a few, little calls that he makes fun of and everything. And like the entire show is about these people for an hour or 2 hours or whatever. Like, you guys think I'm upset. You say, oh, I'll mention something about Matt or something. This guy will do like 3 hours on Mersh and then come on the next day and do another hour or 2 hours on him, or whoever he's like kind of picking on that week or whatever. But I mean, I guess it's content. That's the only thing I don't get, but he is kind of funny, and he's got a pretty sick like setup, the way he's, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I'll pull him up. Oh, we got another caller.
Call from.
Ken Wheeler.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, this is Drew.
Hey, Drew, this is Ken Wheeler. I heard you were talking about me.
Hey, what's going on, Ken Wheeler? How are you?
Hey, good. I'm moving into the, instead of the Van Halen belts, I'm going to move into the leather belts. And I got green ones, and I've been working on a blue one. So,
can you teach me about like magnetism? If I was going to watch all your channels, like all your videos?
Yes.
What would people get from watching all your videos?
Well, I make the best damn wallet out there. All my wallets, I stretch them out, and they're made out of real alligator.
You got you got the leather working skills?
Yes. Well, I started my skills with my earrings, and I would stretch my ears out, and I would stretch them out like leather, and then I just kind of went from there. So.
What can you tell us about, like, on your latest video, you talk about talismans?
Hold on. Hey, get out of here. This is my house.
Damn, another heavy hitter, man. Ken Wheeler called in, man. So shout out, man. I'll quit making fun of him. Yeah, Alex Stein, Conspiracy Castle, and I don't know who that is, Cassidy Campbell. They might as well be employed by InfoWars. I thought he was employed by InfoWars. Is he not? Maybe I misunderstood that. I thought after he went viral, I thought he got like a gig with like InfoWars. But I don't follow it that closely, so maybe I misunderstood that or something. This was the Pod Awful dude I'm talking about. People hate him. I know Davey hates him. Him and Davey have like a beef. I'm trying to see, like, I could show you his setup. He's got a crazy, like, studio setup. Dude. He's got, like, all these, like, screens behind him and everything. This is the only dude that's, like, he's got sick, thumbnails, too. I don't know. I think he's low-key funny. I just don't really watch him, though. But anytime I have, it's kind of funny. Ken will save your bacon. Oh, he did do the 4th hour of InfoWars, EBT says, Alex Stein. But the whole channel of this Pot Awful dude, it's just like roasting, which is fine to like roast people, but it'll be like a fixation of like 1 or 2 people. They'll be like roasting them for like weeks. Yeah, and he did find the tunnels under Comic Ping Pong Skate and Destroy said. He said he went there to like debunk it, and he's the one that found it under there. Who else, man? There was something else I was gonna talk about while I was here, man. Oh, did you guys see the Britney? I saw the Britney grinder. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't even know if I could show it. I guess because there's pictures of her on like Twitter, like topless playing basketball, and it's just like a dude, man. Like, I mean, everyone said that dude is a dude, right? And it's, I don't know if you guys have seen. I don't know if I can show it. I guess. It comes up Britney Grinder. That's what everyone types in. It's just like a dude with a shirt off, and this person's out in the public just playing basketball, like at a park with no shirt. That's why I'm scared to kind of show it, because they want you to believe that that's a female. Oh man, of course the thing's not gonna work now. Hold on. Brittany Griner, here we go. I don't know if you guys even want to see this.
Call from.
Jason Brochures with Archaics.
To accept, press 1.
I don't know who that
Voicemail,
is.
Press 2.
My bad if I hung up. I don't know if I hung up or if they hung up. I don't know who Archaics is. I've actually heard of that channel. Oh, yeah, I can't show those pictures. See, I'm typing in topless, and it's getting into racy territory here. I got to be careful. Who is that Archaics dude? Do you guys know who that is? I'm gonna look him up. I've heard people like talk about him in the comments. Archaics, it's something like this. I don't even know what this dude's about, man. Oh, subscribe. What does he talk about? Let's see real quick. From Anuna to Anunnaki. Enochian magic. See, this looks interesting to me. I just don't know what it's about. You guys tell me what it's about. The Phoenix event? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Christina, why don't you call in, man? Christina said maybe Mag Truth will call. Bam! This one right here. This so-called Archaics. Bam! Nothing but a deceiver. There's got to be somebody that can do it better than me. Yeah, I don't know who this dude is. But this, not just this dude. Not this dude. I can't even comment on this dude because I've never seen him. But a lot of these other channels, they'll go with what I'm talking about and how all this conspiracies to me now at this point, it's what I called I don't remember what I called it. What did I call it? digital Rorschach test where they give you enough information that you could connect any conspiracy to any other conspiracy. You can say this is like a left-wing conspiracy, right-wing conspiracy. This shooter was a Trump-tard. This shooter was Antifa, anything. You can say anything, and there's some kind of evidence to show that, because they present all the evidence out here, and they put it all out there, and they want you to paste together what you know and put it out there, and then they're just trying to kind of see what you see, right? Like a Rorschach test, the ink blot test. Look at this Tool cover. That's hilarious. The cover right there that he made. Oh, we got the bots here, man. How do I block them? The bots are here. You're just getting too deep into the truth when the bots show up. What else you guys want me to get in? I was hoping there'd be more callers, man. I wasn't prepared enough. Last time I couldn't even talk because the callers kept coming up. I did want to look at kind of some of these top news stories. Hold on real quick. Ryan in the chat says, Drew, do you believe there are a select few that are experiencing this reality with soulless background characters like in a video game? What do you mean? I don't know if you mean there's... If your question's implying there's different people or there's like multiple realities and each person has their own reality, and you're saying in certain people's realities there's NPCs? Or are you saying, do you believe in NPCs? Is that kind of what you're saying? To me, what an NPC is a person that's so far removed from their humanity they become a golem of the system. And you know who runs the system? The people at the top. the bagels. You become a golem, and then you just become an NPC at that point, and that's what that is to me.
Bam!
Oh!
To accept, press 1.
Uh-oh, he's gonna roast me, man.
Mag on!
Well, hey, this is Drew. What's up, man?
What's up? I heard you talking about Brittany Griner. You think that's a woman, Drew?
I don't think that's a woman.
Drew?
No, I don't think that's a woman.
Drag on. Get the fuck out of here.
Bam.
Bam.
Mag hung up, man. It's a man. Beat up kneecaps. Bam. Yeah, what's the deal with the dam? There was like a transformer at a Hoover Dam that blew up, and all these truthers are like, yeah, the dam blew up. Like, no, it didn't. Back to that question though, like I don't think I finished talking about that. Yeah, I think that's what all the media programming and all that's about. It's to make you a golem and remove you from so far from your human nature that you see it out here today. It's the people, they put like, I got an email from my daughter's school the other day, and it was like from whoever, I think it was a vice principal. And it was at the end of the thing, it was signed by her name, and then in parentheses, she, her, and it's all like the uber woke stuff. Like that's like completely people that are so twisted and perverted and 180 degrees away from what being a human is and your natural human nature, that's what we would consider an NPC at that point, in my opinion, because they're just, you already know what they're going to say before they say it. Like you could ask them a question and you could write on a piece of paper what they would say, and you'd be 100% right, like 100% of the time. They're the type of box that they're thinking in, and they get stuck in those loops and everything. And then so once you get a big majority of the people, being anti-humanity and anti-against their human nature, then it's just it's like a cycle. It's like a snowball down a hill, and then because they're teaching your kids that, they're teaching their own kids that, and then there's a whole nother generation with even more and more of them, and then it becomes anti-human beings that are chopping off their wieners, they're chopping off their breasts, inverting their sex, anything that's against, like, God-given abilities and nature, and they're, like I said, man, just golem and NPC, like a robot, like a programmed robot, like that one. See if I can find it again. Was that one about the emojis? Yeah, this is it. How the emojis even, and this dude compares them to like all the ancient Goetic seals. Goetian, whatever. I'm probably not saying it right. And there's like an order to those seals, and there's an order to these emojis and everything. And then how the emojis end right there. It's like death, and then a ghost, and then an alien, and then like a robot. Like, this is where you could say you could still be alive in the physical flesh and be acting like an alien. These people you see with like blue hair and they tattoo their face and, put those like prosthetic horns on their face and everything. They basically look like, and they're acting alien. And then also you have the robot, the completely programmed NPC and everything through a deep programming. Basically, you could even go into the MK Ultra. Call Archaics back. I don't know how to. I'm really bad. I don't really use Google Voice. Hold on. I don't know how to see the. Here, hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out. Where's Archaics? I don't know which one it was. Archaics, call back, because I don't know how funny that would be to me either, though, because I don't know what he talks about. Drew, do you think there is a dysgenic agenda? Well, I don't know what dysgenic means, so let's look it up, I guess. Exerting a detrimental effect on later generations through the inheritance of undesirable characteristics. So you're saying like a multi-generation attack on people's bloodlines and stuff, basically? I would say absolutely. If you look at the old, I mean, it's almost a thing you can't even talk about on YouTube, but it has to do with what you see in every commercial, if you pick up what I'm saying. And when you look at old books about like blood types and everything like that, it was like imperative that these people keep their own. You can't even really talk about it on YouTube, so I hope you know what I'm trying to say is, like, it was like staying with your own types of people and everything, because for some reason then your blood types were like stronger. And I'm not saying that's my thing. I'm saying there's like books, like 1800 books that talked about stuff like that. So I think it's like your skills or something through your family, or maybe musical ability or talents or something. I'm not 100% sure. And that's stronger when you keep that all unified in one bloodline. But then when you start to like mix that, I think that gets watered down and split in half, for both sides. So it's not just like one or anything like that. I think it's both sides are naturally meant to stay in their own lane, I think, and then it's better for everyone, I think, for each individual culture. That's what I think, just from the books that I've read and stuff. But not that there's anything wrong with it. Drew, what do you think of Quantum's latest vid? I don't know if I saw it. Let's see. Con science. Yeah, I didn't see it. What is he talking about? He's getting up in the camera on this one. Hey, whoa. Yeah, I didn't see it, so I don't know. The last one I saw was... Yeah, what's the deal? Can we get into this magenta? Oh, we got a caller now. And we got Commander Loser talking about the magenta too now.
Call from.
POTUS.
Whoops.
Call from.
Christina Mama C.
To accept, press 1.
I think I hung up. Hello?
Hello?
What's up, Christina?
What's up, Drew?
What's good?
Hey.
What do you know about the blood types? I know you know a lot about the blood types.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know about the RH negatives.
What is that about? Because I know that's definitely a rabbit hole, and it's something I never really looked into.
It is. It's just basically the O negative is there's no proteins on the red blood cell. And then some of the other negatives like A, B, and AB, they do have some of the proteins, and then the positive blood types have even more. And allegedly there's more positive blood types in the world than there are the negative blood types. So if you have Rh negative status, then there's like between 5 and 15% of the population that have that, and the rest of the population is positive. So there's a lot of stuff that can be, taken from that, I guess. You can go down, like you said, a lot of rabbit holes, that's for sure.
Somebody in the chat said O negative here always been different. Is that part of the...
Yeah, O negative is basically considered like the universal donor. O negatives can give blood to anybody.
Does that mean, do a lot of people that have that blood type, do they feel like that, like they're outcasts or something like that, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I can just say from myself and a few of the people that I know that, kind of feel like they're different than everybody else. We have more of a copper-based blood than the iron-based, which is the positive blood types. But it can go way deeper than that. I mean, you could do multiple shows on on that for sure.
What
Are
else?
you Rh negative?
I forget what I am. I went and found out what I am, and now I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a woman who's Rh negative cannot have an Rh positive child unless nowadays they give what is called a ROGAM shot. But I think that's part of why they used to make people test their blood type before they got married to see if you were compatible with your, partner or not. Because a Rh negative woman will abort a positive fetus.
Really?
Unless now they have what's called a ROGAM shot, which they give to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, we're not supposed to, I guess, procreate with the positives. I mean, what else can you get from that,
Is it an abomination then, since they're stepping in with science to make it like where you said they give you that shot now?
I mean,
like, is there any
know.
problems from the babies then that are born that way because it's through like a man-made shot?
Probably.
Because it's probably just so new they don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what it's really hard to find information out about it. All you can really find out is that when it comes to, pregnancies, that without that shot, I think you're okay for the first pregnancy, but the following pregnancies, you're more likely to not be able to keep the baby.
Really?
So, yeah.
You heard I had another baby, right?
Yes, and that was actually why I was calling, was to call in and congratulate you guys.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'll send you a picture.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been waiting.
I know I'm so busy. It's like, man, now that there's the baby and then now another baby. Well, I say the baby. I'm talking about he'll be 1 in a couple weeks.
Right.
So with him and then the newborn, it's like, man, we're doing stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like 6 o'clock, and then at night, like before I even know it, I'm like, oh my God. And then next thing I know, it's like 9, 10 at night. I'm like, man, I've been doing stuff all day long.
How are they in comparison, the boys?
So my oldest boy, so he'll be 1 in a couple weeks, doesn't sleep, and he never has since he was born. He hates to sleep, and he's always fighting to sleep. And then the other one, the newborn, he's just always sleeping, which is good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least one of them's sleeping for you guys.
Right.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Wow, you got your hands full.
Yeah,
That's fun.
It's a lot of work, man, but it's cool.
It is.
Well, how far
Hey, it's
apart
better
are
than
your
having
kids?
Yeah, mine are 18 months apart, so not quite the Irish twins like you have, but close enough. I mean, 2 babies at the same time, but I found it much easier. And they grew up as best friends.
Once they were a little older, you thought it was easier, or even early on?
Yeah. No, early on, I just thought it was easier to just have both of them kind of, not developmentally at the same place, but eventually they pretty much got to that place. So yeah, I thought it was easier. They had each other their whole lives.
Yeah, that's what I thought. For the boys, it'll be good for them when they get a little older. They'll be able to. They're gonna go wreck shop on these COVID babies. these COVID babies don't stand a chance, man.
That's right.
It's gonna be rough for them.
Oh no, yours will be fine. They'll be fine.
I'm trying to find I'm gonna send you a picture.
How's Mama doing? Is she getting enough sleep?
Yeah, she's in bed right now. That's why.
Good.
That's why she's not. We haven't been doing our show or anything. She's been tired.
Yeah, of course.
But soon, hopefully, that'll all get back online. And have you talked to Claire lately?
I haven't. In fact, she kind of. Usually, we stay in touch, off of social media, but I can't even get a hold of her through email, which, has me concerned. But yeah, the last time I reached out to her, I still haven't heard back. It's been a couple weeks again, so.
Right. Shout out to Claire, man. Get in touch,
Claire.
man. Everyone in the chat loves Claire, and they're always asking, when are you gonna get Claire on again?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, hopefully everything's okay with her.
Yeah, I hope so. She was having some issues, so we'll just shout out to her and send good vibes to the universe that everything's good for her.
Yeah, she's tough. She'll be good, I think.
She's tough, yeah. Oh, there's baby. What's his name? Can we know?
The baby is Raymond. So we got Damon and Raymond.
Oh, you're hilarious. I love it. That's
Damon
great.
and Raymond.
Damon and Raymond. That's
Damon and Raymond. They're gonna be
Basil.
Gonna be beating all these little kids up in a couple years. And yeah, he's big, he's strong. They didn't get any of that medicine that you can't talk about on YouTube. None of that stuff, and none of the genital mutilation, none of that stuff. So everything's been fine. There's been no issues.
Good. Did you guys have to really struggle to not, get those medicines?
Not really, believe it or not.
No, they didn't give you a hard time?
Not really. I think they just kind of think that eventually you'll break down, like, you know what I mean? Like, as you keep bringing them back more and more and more. So I don't know. I didn't notice. It wasn't like a harassment or anything at all. It was just like, okay.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And the one, because the oldest one, he was born in Minnesota, and then this one was born in Florida. And so I'll talk about it more another time, but we had a lot of problems with the Florida system down here, like during the pregnancy. We'll save that for another time, but there was all kinds of problems until the birth. Yeah, and homeschooling, the chat's talking about homeschooling. Yeah, there's no way I could send my kids to school.
No.
Everything going on. Yeah, they're like she, her, they, him, and all this, everything, man.
Yeah.
And you can't even speak out against it, really.
Right. Yeah, you want to be in charge with what your kids are learning now. These public school systems can't be trusted, so.
I'm just going to get them started on YouTube any day now, and they'll be like the next Paul brothers. The next, what is it, Logan Paul, and what's his brother's name? I don't even remember.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
but we gonna be smart.
Yeah, I gotta just get them on there now. Get them on like with the kids, and then they'll grow up like the Disney kids, and kids grow up with them. Oh, somebody said they're
start them with some music too.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go, Christina. Somebody said they're calling in as Joe Biden.
Oh, yay! All right. Hey, take care.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. That's your mod, Christina. Where's Joe Biden is calling in right now? Where is he? My bad. I don't know what I'm doing here on this Google Voice thing yet. I'm not on like IPS's level of this thing. He's on it all the time. I just started doing it. Where's the... Here it is, I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I missed it or something.
Come on, man. Where you at? It's Joe Biden. This is a call you don't want to miss. I listened to you, man. Come on, man. Pick up, man.
Listen, fat. You ain't black. There was a couple comments I saw up here real quick. Ryan wanted to know if I thought the top peeps are pushing forward the acts of revelation in the Bible to create an apocalypse, man-made or divine. Yes, I do believe they are using the Bible as like a template for what they want to play out. And I think we'll see that, man. But at the same time, it's like everybody forever has said, oh, we're at the end times or whatever right now. You could go back 100 years, 200 years, 250 years, and everyone says this is the end time. So who knows? But that's what I feel they do want to play that out. And I don't know if it was you, Ryan, or not, asking like things, whatever the question was it about the dysgenic or whatever? Part of what I wanted to say there too is I feel like they do want to make it so bad. And with this, what we're talking about is like a man-made biblical prophecy. I think they want to make it so bad that you usher in a new era of like controlled Christianity or some type of religious system like that. But it won't be like, in the end, I don't think it will be good. Maybe it'll seem good compared to what's going on now with the drag queen story time or whatever and everything like that. They just want to get it so bad that you're willing to accept a whole new system of maybe like a controlled Christianity or something like this. And then, oh man, the bots. And the other thing that people wanted me to talk about, the shout out Running Fox, thank you.
Call from
Aphrodite roast Starfire.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Yo, the biggest heavy hitter is here. Hello, this is Drew.
Hey, Drew, this is Aphrodite.
What's up, Aphrodite? Are you okay?
Oh my God, Drew. Oh, you know me. I'm just, I tried to trade my car, and then they only want to give me like $3,000 for it. Oh, Drew, when you were talking about that guy that looks just like you, do you watch Peggy Hall?
No, I don't know who that is.
Peggy Hall, she's a healthy American. She's got a video like she's being targeted, and I swear to God, she showed like a video where she was wearing a dress, and then they put an ad on, and she had the same dress on. The person in the ad had the same dress. It was like AI or something. Really good,
Now, Aphrodite, you're dropped so much truth on YouTube that they have to like gang stalk you and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, it's fun.
And they create like entire discords and pay people to like monitor your channel because you're just hitting them over the head so hard with so much truth.
Oh my God, I got so much truth, and I don't have enough time to get it out there, so just promote my channel, And this Kia dealership, they suck. Okay.
I saw Aphrodite. I saw you were giving the maskless ninja some life advice in his. Here's the video. Yeah.
In store since.
I saw Aphrodite was giving maskless ninja some life advice. I think that'd be a good career move for your channel, Aphrodite, is if you gave people life advice because it's going so good for you.
Lead by example, right?
Yeah, and how did the eviction go? Have you been finally kicked out yet for not paying your rent?
Well, the thing is, I was gonna leave my car, but the dealership's got my car now.
But
it took like $2,000 for it.
You do have the bread.
I gotta go.
Okay. Have a good one, Aphrodite. Aphrodite grows dumpster fire, everyone. Living out of a bread truck now. This is exactly what I talk about when I say, like, kind of the premise of my channel is like the truth community is designed to create more like schizophrenic connections and stuff like that, and people the same way social media is designed to promote narcissism in the mind of the heavy social media user. The truth community is designed to like promote more and more schizophrenic type thoughts and stuff like that. And so this is an example of someone that I would use, like, that this type of information is not good for them. And they've just like spiraled worse and worse out of control.
Call from
2020.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
I don't know
press
who that
2.
is. It's not working. Hold on.
Call from.
Hello? I think I messed that up. My bad. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure that out. But this is what I was saying. Like, yeah, this truth stuff is not good for certain people. This is a person that needs to like completely log off the internet and not be on the internet for a long time. And it's bad for people like this to get in like a crazy echo chamber because they're so crazy, and then they don't understand it when they sit online all day, every day, and then they're getting reinforced in the comments like, yeah, what you said here. And the people in the comments are like, yeah, you know, this is so great what you said. Like, no one's giving this person real advice and saying, yeah, you sound like completely batshit bananas. Hold on. Is this going to work?
Call from.
Me again.
Who?
6.
Hello?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, Drew?
What's up? Who's this?
This is I go by 2020. Actually, I used to be on your Discord.
On the Discord?
I don't know if you still have it up.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's too much time.
Yeah, I was that guy that's kind of like always nagging about the Mandela effect. I was kind of.
Oh, like the Mandela effect, dude.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I was kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, what's new in the Mandela effect world?
Well, I gotta say, man, I don't think he's giving it a fair shake. I know you covered it a little bit, but it's kind of like anytime I've heard you talk about it, it seems like you sort of kind of cover like like the monocle guy or like all these sort of surface level type of aspects about it, and I think it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just not really the bigger picture of it, and be kind of cool to hear you go into that a little bit deeper.
What about it excuse me, I'm sorry. What about it that's like not...
What about what?
I'm trying to like think of some that are like not from like Hollywood or like a book or something like that.
Well, like, I mean, like, for example, like my whole take on it, I don't know if I told you, but I kind of maybe mentioned it before in your chat, is, I mean, for me, like the significance about it is that it's, I see those changes in the scriptures. And so, like, when I first noticed it, I was like, it was kind of weird at first to me, and it was almost funny because I did see things that were like really way off from my memory, my experience about, in terms of pop culture. I was like, well, that's definitely weird. There's something weird about this, but I didn't really give it much. It was kind of like a novelty almost. It's like, so I was like, I didn't have enough time to really get into it. Just seemed kind of like a internet novelty. But it's like once I noticed the scriptures being affected, that's when it was like, okay, like game on, like this is something serious now, because that's kind of my background. I mean, I've learned that, I've been studying that, scriptures for 40 plus years, and I know plenty of people who have as well, and so yeah, here comes the eye rolls, but it's just kind of like, I think there's a much deeper aspect to it that is not really talked about much on those kind of the doubters and the haters on it. I mean, it's like, it does, yeah, you could say, well, what does it matter, even if it is like, okay, like a tail missing or a dash missing out of a Kit Kat or whatever. Like, how does that affect me? Like, even if it's real, you could say that. But then if you notice the scriptures changing, it's like, that's a whole other ball game. And I think to me, that's the biggest game in town in terms of like conspiracies and all that. To me, it's like if you're actually experiencing it and seeing it, to me, it's like the Michael Jordan of conspiracies, like the Bible supernaturally changing. I mean, that's off the charts. So, no, it's not only about this KJV. Actually, I'm looking at some of these comments. These changes are actually happening in all versions, and so, and I've actually looked at the manuscripts that are available. I mean, not in person, but I know you say the internet can change anything, but I've gone to some archive. There's an archive library at the University of Texas. I've seen some of the oldest Bibles that are available to hold. And sure enough, they have the same changes. So there's something to it, and it's not about logos. It's not about sort of the surface level kind of internet novelty. much more. There's something behind it. I think there's a much bigger story to it. So it'd be really cool to hear you go into that more. I think. I mean, I don't know. I know it's not. I mean, if you're not really seeing the experience, I can understand why you wouldn't really care to. But there are people like myself and others that are very much aware of this happening, and it's not something we take lightly. It's not like a passing novelty or just sort of something like it's not like a gotcha thing or anything like that. It's like something very serious. So yeah, I know EDT's over here.
Yeah.
He's trying to poo-poo it all.
The only thing I don't like about Mandela Effect to me is like that it's like it can never be wrong, because then that way it's like almost like different people have different universes or something, and then it's like, oh well, it was this but now it's this, so now there's no more evidence of this. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to ever fully like prove it or anything. But at the same time, there's some of those ones, you know, the famous ones or whatever, I've definitely experienced or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. I mean, that's what you always run into when I talk about with people. I mean, how do you prove it? It's like, but that in and of itself, like, assuming my position is valid, right? What you're literally asking me is, okay, prove a paradox. Okay, how would you actually do that? You know, it's kind of impossible. You know, for trying to prove a paradox. So it's almost an unfair question to ask somebody who's experiencing it. Well, prove it. Okay, well, you're asking me to prove a paradox. It just can't happen. So and so I get your point. It's like, well, anyone can be right as long as they say my memory's right. But that and there's certainly people that are making Mandela effects out of things that aren't really. But like I said, for me, it was all about scriptures. It's like, because like, the thing is, no one's going to memorize the Bible, but plenty of people are going to have some scriptures memorized by heart. Plenty of people. In fact, you're actually mandated to do that in Scripture. That's like, you know, one of the sort of mandates to follow. Like, you need to hide it in your heart. But the point is that the ones that you do hide in your heart, the few, let's say if you can count them on one hand, you know, if you notice they're not what you've always known them to be, one day, like just out of the blue, when you start seeing them, you know, that's a very serious predicament that you're now in. And the kind of experience and I guess the way to describe it is like think of your mom's name, right? And then you wake up one day, like let's say her name's Mary, and you wake up one day and, you know, everyone's calling her Paula, and you're like, what? You know, it's like, and yeah,
but it's never someone's mom's name though. To me, I've never heard anything. It's only like media.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm making the comparison to some of the scriptures that you would hide.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though, but it's
that's how it is for some people who actually studied for very long periods of time and like backwards and forward, you know, knew some scriptures like that and memorizing them. It's kind of like your mom's name. Like you just don't get them wrong. It's like you don't just forget how to turn a doorknob unless you like, you know, break your head or something or hit your head on a brick or something. Like you don't forget your mom's name. You don't forget certain scriptures, you know, you just don't. So
right.
When they are changed and dramatically changed, it's like, that's a fire-alarm fire for people who are tuned into Scripture, tuned into God, tuned into Jesus, you know, tuned into the faith, right? That's a very serious issue, and it's kind of weird because even in our own community, it's like, you know, let's say that the Christian community, right? Most Christians aren't seeing this, which is alarming. That's extremely alarming, because you would think, okay, well, they're the watchdogs, right? If this was really happening, you would think, well, why aren't they all like shouting from the hilltops, like, hey, something's wrong here, you know, this is an emergency, we got a problem. No one's doing it, and that's the weirdest part about it, because we've all gone to our friends and family, and we've sat down with them, we've had very serious conversation with them, and I tell you, it's like 99% of the time, it's like they're like, they think you're crazy, they think you're not, they think that you're demonized or you're falling away. Or I even had people, friends tell me like, oh, you need to see a therapist, kind of thing. And you wouldn't expect that from people you thought were studying scriptures for longer than you, but yet you were able to find some people in our community that are having the exact same recalls of these verses we hit in our heart. So in that regard, I'm still surprised that there aren't more scripture readers talking about this. But I don't know. I think that's one area you could probably find some pretty interesting content to talk about and discuss.
What's your opinion of what's causing it? Do you think it's CERN or anything? Or do you think it's just like supernatural?
Well, I don't know how. I don't necessarily see that those could be unrelated. So I do believe it's a prophetic event. So in my estimation, I can only theorize about it. I mean, no one's going to know for sure why or how it's happening. But my theory is that it's part of prophecy. I can actually make a pretty strong case, speaking through Scripture, showing how it was talked about in Scripture, interestingly enough. But beyond that, how it's happening, I would say it has something to do with there's some passages in the Revelation that talk about the angel from the bottomless pit, the abyss, and it just so happens that there's this angel is like called Apollyon, and the destroyer is also called the destroyer, and CERN happens to be located right over the part of Europe where the Romans had a gateway or an altar to Apollyon. CERN, like the facility is like located right over that. So yeah, you could say, well, they're just following the script. I know, but I'm just telling you, in the end, like the way I look at it, in the end, who owns the biggest script above everything? You think about it, right? I mean, it would be God for a lot of us, right? God owns the script, right? So whether it's fabricated or they're staged or whatever, it doesn't matter. God owns the biggest script out there. So for whatever reason, that's where it is, and they have Shiva the Destroyer right there in front of it. So there's a lot of things that it's almost like they're either revealing it or it just so happens to correlate. So I do think CERN's part of it, but I don't think it's like these guys in white coats like sitting there typing in, okay, let's change this Bible verse over there, let's change this. I don't think it's like that. I think, if you ask me, my theory is that they conjured something. I think they conjured whatever this thing is from the abyss, and that's the thing that's doing it. That's what I think. It's a supernatural event. It's almost like they're playing with a high-tech Ouija board is the way I look at it. And I would say they lost control of whatever it is that they've conjured, and it's not them doing it anymore. It's that thing, whatever it is, and I think that's the prophetic link. That's my theory. I can't prove it, but I can make a pretty good case using Scripture to get there. And I don't know. There's just so much to it. It's kind of late to go into it at this point. But 11 o'clock here, 11:30. But I think there's a lot of information. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of discussion points there. But you'd kind of have to dig and find it. I mean, that's a topic I'm very close to. I'm connected to people that are seeing the same things, and it's not a laughing matter. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my take. All the other stuff, the interesting thing about all the world Mandela effects is that what's funny about those, as curious and weird and whatever, like pop culture type effects they are. It's interesting because there seems to be all of these sort of messages and and narratives kind of in the changes. So, for example, one of the ideas that some of us have had about why this is happening is some of us believe that the church made the Bible into an idol. Like they lost their first love, which is supposed to be Jesus, right? And instead they put all of their energy, all their focus, all their study into the head knowledge of Scripture. And this, in a sense, made it into an idol, right? And so it's, someone mentioned about C-3PO, right? The silver leg. I clearly remember the golden leg, all gold legs, everything gold, like everything was there, right? But now with the silver leg, there's like this weird kind of like, they took the golden calf message, you see, just like Israel did, they made the calf, you know the story, right?
Yeah.
So there's
just,
a lot of
to
that
me,
kind
it
of
just
stuff
seems
going on.
like a stretch to like say that would like basically supernaturally God's changing Star Wars or something.
Well, no, it's not. See, that's the thing. It's not God doing it. I think God's allowing it, but he's allowing it to happen. I mean, okay, God, no one's going to say God's doing this. No one has got their head screwed on straight, if you ask me. But God would certainly allow it if he wanted to.
What would the point of allowing it be? Just to get you to see something?
Judgment. Absolutely, judgment, 100%. He did it to Israel. Why wouldn't he do it to his church in the end days? I mean, he let Israel go through trials. He allowed them to go through trials so that they would be judged. It's the same narrative, but it's happening again. The church never learned from Israel's problem. That's how I see it. Israel was just given to us as a narrative of what not to do as the end days church. But the church ended up doing the same thing by taking the Bible and making it into an idol. Before the church in the Old Testament times, Israel made the Torah into their idol. God tried to tell them it's about this relationship with me, essentially, and the Old Testament talks about basically how they kind of institutionalized the first teachings from Moses. I mean, they created a whole system from some teachings that Moses gave, basically, and it became this big liturgical kind of ritualistic religious institution, and that became the idol of, let's say, his first people. And even when Jesus came, they didn't see him because they had made such an institution out of the church. Out of their idea of church, right? They made church into, and they couldn't see Jesus. He was right there in front of them, even doing miracles.
Call from
Running Fox.
Running Fox.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I must be behind. Let me cut my YouTube. I'm still hearing 2020 talking.
2020 voted. You guys voted for him.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
So
Running Fox?
congratulations. I am so excited for you. I didn't even know you guys were again.
Yeah, I didn't really talk about it, but thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of private and all that. Well, congratulations. God bless. I'm
Now
glad she's
you're
getting
the
a little rest.
You're the one that loves Matt, right?
I'll go and binge on his videos. I'll watch like 5 in one day, once every couple months, and then it gets me every time, and I leave a comment. Usually supportive, but once in a while I'll be like, he's getting a little repetitive the last years.
How long have you been looking into this, like, whatever you call it, information?
Oh, let me see. I quit watching TV, like watching shows that came on weekly in like 2008. And as soon as I got away from the TV, I read more books. I started, it was a lot easier. You always had a little internet in your pocket, carrying a cell phone, right? Got so much easier to look into things.
I believe it was somewhere between, probably around 2010, 2011, I would research things in a real library at a real college that you walked into, you know. Little bit of internet, but mostly actual books and, I don't know, medical articles and research, real research, you know. And more about politics. I learned more just kind of on my own. And then 2015, I really started just soaking up everything that was out there that was truther based, you know, like YouTube used to be.
Yeah.
You could look up a certain date in 2001 and you could just watch everything, and now you can't even find that stuff unless you downloaded it and saved it. You know, that kind of thing.
All that
so
stuff's
probably
gone. A lot of that stuff.
5 or 6 years going at it hardcore. 2017 is when quote unquote Mandela effect was introduced to me, the Berenstain thing.
What's your take on Mandela effect?
Well, I've seen a few of them. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing too. Is even though I don't necessarily believe in it, there's some of them that absolutely
that are real to you.
Yeah.
And what's weird is so many people, they're not even really exactly sure why it's called Mandela, and it's because of Nelson Mandela. And that's an actual anchor memory for me. It was July, I couldn't swear to it, 5th or 7th in 1991. It was right after the 4th of July. And I came home from, 1991, 17 years old. And I come in, you know, like you do at your parents' house in the summer from running around. And Nelson Mandela's funeral was on the TV. And I remember it because my dad had surgery that day. And he was like walking around the house in a toga, you know, because he was hurting. He didn't have real clothes on. He was like wrapped in a bed sheet. You know, so it's sort of an anchor memory. I remember the funeral of Nelson Mandela being broadcast in daytime. It broke in on my mom's soap operas or whatever. And it was on TV, 1991, July.
And then when did he die again? I'm going to look it up.
2013 or 15. And he
2013,
had gotten out of prison because the president rised up and, you know, beat down apartheid and whatever. That, you know, the assholes that imprisoned him in the first place. I never knew all that. I thought the man was dead for 2 decades, you know? It was shocking to me.
So what do you think of it now? Do you think it's possible that when they said he was dead and it broke through the TV, you think that was just like maybe like a gaslighting thing? Or do you think?
Well, now that I understand the actual reality that I had no idea of back then, now I understand that there could be characters that they are, you know, on the world stage, be it sports, politics, finance, you know, music, movies, Hollywood, whatever, the people we know, like Matt says, that put their fat faces on the TV. There's more than one playing that role, and that actor is playing more than one role. You know what I mean? Look at Bill and Melinda. They are not the same two faces I saw 20 years ago when he was at Microsoft. Right?
And Melinda, the one they have up there is Man Linda?
Yeah, I'm not dead sure that's a woman.
Yeah,
so
come on now, it's gotta be.
Completely not. I didn't pay any attention to them until, you know, the big C came around a couple of years ago and their name was on every article again, right? Because they're producing stuff. And so I got to looking at her and I was like, gee, many Christ. And I managed to find a article from 2006. It was more of a TED Talk thing. It had a little video with it. And she had gone and spoke at some college about women getting into business or getting into medicine or whatever it was. You know, they were getting money for their foundation, but she was giving a talk. And it is not the same woman that's sitting up there by Bill today. Or they're divorced now, right? But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it does look like in the past a totally different person.
She was feminine. She was no knockout, but she was just kind of a plain Jane. But she was much softer, more feminine, much shorter. It's not this thing that's playing the role today. And I could sit there and give you 100 examples of these people. So now I think Mandela effect, as far as Nelson Mandela himself, there were probably several characters playing that role throughout the years. Just like with our presidents. We've seen more than one Joe and
right,
more than one Trump, all that, you know, and it is so impossible to explain any of this to people in your life. They don't get it, or my daughter came to me with the Berenstain Bear thing, 17. I had never heard of the Mandela effect, but I knew Nelson Mandela and a couple other famous actors had died but come back for me. And it comes into your mind and you wonder what the hell, but then you go about your life. And then 2017, it was like a ton of bricks. And that's when I fell down all rabbit holes. Because, Berenstain Bears, my daughter calls me up and says, do you still have our books and everything? And I said, shit, girl, I got my books. So I dug out, my Dr. Seuss's and Berenstain's from the 1970s that my brother and I read when we were little. And sure as shit, it was spelled different. It used to have an E, now it has a stain on your shirt, Berenstain. And I was shocked. And that one I knew. But then I got to thinking, I discovered one in 1996 when
what was that one?
that same daughter was like 2. It was almost her 2nd birthday. So it was almost 1997. She got all into Snow White, right? In the VHS puffy Disney movie boxes.
Yeah, the clamshell.
They would release one out of the vault every couple years, right?
Yeah.
Mirror, Mirror. We had that freaking movie playing 24/7 in the VCR. She knew how to run the VCR when she was 2. What did I do to my children? But anyway, she goes over and changes the movie and this and that, and it is always playing in the background. I'm cooking, cleaning, being pregnant, raising kids. And I caught it one day that the old witch lady, the stepmother, was saying magic mirror on the wall. She wasn't saying mirror, mirror. And I was like, what the hell? I guess, and my brain just looked at the back of the box of the VHS movie, and it just said it was the original movie. They tweaked the color or this or that, but it would be the original from way back when. I'm like, no, it said mirror, mirror, because we knew that movie. I knew it, and my little 2-year-old knew it line by line from watching it at the grandparents' house. But here she was turning 2. She got her own copy of the movie, so now we had it in our house. And it was their Disney release, an old one from the vault, right? So, and it was like $25 for a movie then at Toys R Us or wherever, Kmart. And we bought every single one that came out. And that I caught in 1996. And I was like, my brain just turned it to, well, I guess maybe copywriting reasons or something with, releasing something 40, 50 years after the movie was made. Maybe they had to change a word here and there for some sort of, licensing or something. That's what my brain told me. And I would say it to people like my mother-in-law who owned the other movie that said mirror, mirror. I'd be like, yours says mirror, mirror. Our new one says magic mirror. And people would just ignore you. They'd be, that's weird. And it just, it didn't really catch on. But now it's gone too mainstream.
Oh, yeah, there's movies about it.
If somebody says, oh, I never heard of this movie with The Rock in it, it's a Mandela effect. It didn't exist in my universe. Yeah, I'm in some of those groups. People stub their and, it bruised different than it did last year. It's a Mandela effect.
So at this point, what do you think at this point then about Mandela effect? Do you think it's...
I don't know, because I have actually... There are some that I swear to God, unless something's playing a trick on my mind, and I've had a fairly sharp mind all my life, but some of these, I know what my actual copy of that Berenstain B book is what it was called. It was all about the letter B, the Berenstain B book. I knew the last name of those writers and the characters. It was E, and now it's A on my actual book from 1970 or 71 or whatever. That changed. My Monopoly game changed. Several things in my actual Bible, because I knew my Bible pretty well. Those freaked me out. About a year ago, I found a couple myself. And I got so upset, I just set the Bible aside for several months and didn't read out of it. The Bible I've had for many, many years. It freaked me out, because I knew these, I don't memorize entire books of the Bible or nothing,
right.
But there's little parts that there's characters that there's things that I remember writing to my sister-in-law, she's real churchy, and saying, now Jesus never said bring them before me and let me slay them to anyone, did he? She was like, oh no, that was never said in the Bible. And all of a sudden that was going all through the groups. Jesus, all of a sudden there's a part in the Bible where he says, if they don't believe in me, bring them before me and let me slay them or some shit. And so I looked up the whole chapter, and when you read the whole chapter, he was telling a parable, quoting an evil king. He wasn't saying it. He was quoting an evil king. You know how Jesus would stand there and tell his parables so the people would get the point? Yeah, it's like all you got to do is read the entire chapter, which is about a page and a half of your Bible. It ain't much. But people, just a sentence. And so I believe that what they're calling mainstream Mandela, let's call it that, mainstream Mandela effects, are junk. Right?
The chat wants to know what you think about magenta.
Who's that?
Magenta?
What do you mean? Define it.
You must be behind. There's like all these channels now that talk about magenta, some like magenta code or something.
I've never heard of that. I know there's a person named Magenta, and then there's people who swear that certain colors never existed. Chartreuse, magenta, colors of the rainbow.
It's like a new like truther, like boomer trope is magenta is out to get you or something like that. Like you'll have to look it up.
Like, I don't know. I guess I've drifted from all of the, I guess, truther type stuff. Like, you know, like I said, I'll get tempted on a Sunday afternoon and I'll listen to 3 or 4 hours of Matt.
Yeah, he's been talking about that.
About him.
He's been talking about that.
The magenta?
The magenta, yeah.
Behind then, yeah. But I don't know. I just what I consider the actual things that did change for me physically. Lines in my Bible, titles or authors of my books, certain things in my house, my Monopoly game, things like that. That I swear to God, they were one way for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they are different. And so those, I don't know what's happening, but I know that something happened, or my mind is being messed with. One of the two. And then I can't get into all the little bitty ones. Wait a second, there's strawberry Twinkies. It's a Mandela effect. They didn't have them when I was growing up. It's a new product. Look it up. You know, people will call everything a Mandela, or they'll do, like you're saying, the parallel universe. I started to think about that for a while, and I could never make it work in my mind of where, I mean, there would just be, like 2020 was saying earlier, you'd just wake up one morning and your mom's name would be Jane instead of Mary. Bigger things would happen than strawberry Twinkies or Monopoly changes, right?
Right.
I don't know. What do you think? You think it's all bullshit, right? But
like I said, there's a handful I know, and to me that there are. However, I don't know how they do it, but it seems like
they're absolute changes.
It seems like a long-term, multi-generational psyop, in my opinion. That it's like,
yeah, but I wonder how could they have done it?
Like I know you said you saw it on the VCR and it had changed. I think like what happened maybe is they put that mirror on the wall, so when you went and saw it in the theater, that's what it said. But then by the time they brought it out to VHS, then they switched it just to mess with you.
Yeah, the older VHS that we had been watching at my mom-in-law's house when my baby was little. And we got used to it and learned every line. Well, here come her birthday, and she was turning 2, and she got her own copy of the brand new, released from the Disney Vault, digitally remastered, right?
Yeah.
The Disney Collection, whatever the frick they called them. And they all, you know, the fancy packaging and all. So I chalked it up to that they made a little change in the media itself, because I physically have the copy in my home that said Mirror, Mirror, but my mother-in-law did, and we still watched it at her house on weekends, and it still said Mirror, Mirror. My 1996 digitally remastered, brand new one coming out said Magic Mirror. So I figured Disney did this, right? But that doesn't explain things like we still had a big giant box full of DVDs and a few VHSs here in the house I don't know, 5 years ago when my dad passed away. I got a bunch of movies out of his house or whatever, right? And people were talking about the Forrest Gump ones. Life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Or life was like a box of chocolates. And I'm like, damn it, I have that one. So I go run into that box, and I dig out my DVD or chest, whichever it was, and the top line on the movie, you know, where they give you a blurb and reviews and whatever. And the very top line was, my mama said life was like a box of chocolates. It had to was for me. I remember it being is present tense.
Okay, now I seen this one. I'm going to try to pull it up. I saw that one, and I saw an answer to that one, actually, that made sense. Is in the commercial for it, that they showed you the commercial before you went to see it.
Right.
It said is, but then when they put it in the theater, it says was. So people remember the commercial. And then maybe when you go see it in the theater or something, your brain just kind of autofills it in.
Well, in a little word like that, too, people hear it differently. You know, like we hear song lyrics. It's just called a misheard lyric or Mandela effect, right?
Yeah,
when in a song is different.
I have the thing up. I'm gonna play it real quick. It's only 30 seconds. I'm gonna play it for the chat.
I gotcha.
My mom always said that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
See, that was the movie or the commercial.
Present tense. That sounded like is.
Yep, the one was from the commercial.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get.
So let me read what he wrote. They said, where did you get the original version? He said it's a behind-the-scenes feature, different angle and take was used in this film.
Almost like a deleted scene, only they redid the scene just slightly. Yeah. So there's millions of those, that movie one. And, hey, what do you think about, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's hundreds of famous people. The spelling name has changed. I don't even know an example right off, but there's hundreds of them. There was one guy called Mandela Man. He was keeping a list, and he had hundreds of them. You know, like, I don't know, just pick a famous person and their name would be spelled different. Carol Channing or somebody. Well, nobody growing up today knows who that was. She was an old lady when I was
never
little.
heard of it.
And she was somebody that guest starred on The Love Boat and different Johnny Carson type shit. She was old then.
Again, to me, it would be another connection to Hollywood. It seems like it's all connected. Other than the people that claim the Bible changes, everything is like media and Hollywood, yeah.
Right. I've noticed that too. But I do have, I don't know, I had a couple real life examples, but they're relatively small things. You know,
Selma
not
Hayek.
like,
Somebody said Selma Hayek. Yeah, I have heard somebody say they spell Selma Hayek differently now. I think people just, I think if it's different than what people kind of is the traditional spelling, your brain just kind of fills it in. Like Berenstein, your brain probably just, you were 5 years old and...
right. I don't know how to explain that. And the Bible, I hate getting into the Bible ones because you either end up sounding preachy because you know a whole verse by heart, God forbid, or people are just uncomfortable, or they're like, well, I don't know that one, so I can't participate, you know. But I will tell you my big Bible one, and it was roughly maybe 2 years ago now. I sat here and wrote down the whole freaking genealogical family tree of Noah because he always had 3 sons in my Bible, in my what I call my white Bible that I've read for many years.
The white Bible?
He had 3 sons. Just had a white cover on it. It was a regular freaking Bible. But then I run out to my daughter's Catholic, my kids are all Catholic. I run out to the shelf and dig out her Catholic Bible. And then I run and dig out my big, the big booming, weighs 10 pounds, heavy duty Catholic Bible that I got when I first got married, and I'm comparing them. And then I dig out a King James. All I had for a King James around here was a, small little one from Barnes and Noble. And they all had that fourth son. And his name was, oh God, what was his name? It was like Cannon or something. It was similar to Cain, only it was like Cannon or Canna or something. It was the weirdest thing. And so I was in a couple Mandela Effect groups like, I don't know, Brian McFarlane or somebody that goes on YouTube. And I bursted in there the first time they had a live stream. And I'm like, you guys, Noah has 4 sons in my Bible. He's always had 3. The guy that built the ark, it was him and his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, and 2 of every animal, was the story. They got on the boat and sailed away, right? And other things had changed in the story of Noah as well. It was all of a sudden a raven that he sent out, not a dove, looking for dry land. And I had never seen the word raven in that whole entire section. It's always a dove. So I got real freaked out about that. I never got into a good discussion with anybody else that knew it well enough.
When I pull it up on the internet, it says 3 sons of Noah.
Yeah, it ought to be.
Shem,
but
Ham,
I haven't even looked.
Japheth.
Japheth. I
JPEG.
pronounce it Japheth. I don't know. Yeah, but
right.
what was
on the internet? It's only saying there's 3 now. So you got one that's got 4.
Well, I haven't looked at it lately. And
it says grandchildren.
He has in my white Bible.
Canaan as
Think
a grandchildren.
about the incest that had to have been going on.
Oh. Yeah, they're promoting that stuff today.
Well, if anybody wants to take biblical stories and stuff literally, then some nasty shit was happening. That's all we all came about from incestuous relationships, if you go back far enough.
That's how everyone was made. You were all made from some nasty shit. Your mama, your mama was being nasty. What do you think about? What do you think
every
about?
Once in a while, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear what you say.
Well, I was going to say every once in a while there'll be, I don't even know if it's History Channel, something like that. And it'll just be in my feed on YouTube or whatever. They probably all have a YouTube channel now. They put their older crap on there. But every once in a while, there'll be a really, really good little series made about, and they come out around Easter and stuff, not just the 10 Commandments, but other things in the Bible. It'll just be, Noah or whatever. It'll just be, I don't know, a mini series or a week-long thing where it's a couple hours every night you tune in. Some of those are very well acted, and I recognize it so well, whatever story they're doing, that they're pulling it word for word out of the Bible, and I appreciate that. But then every now and then there'll be a big change to one of them. Like, I can't even give you an example when I want one, but it would be like the wife of some famous person in the Bible. Their name would be totally different. But most people only know the guy, and they didn't really learn the name of the wife, so they don't know one way or the other, right? So some of them really stick with me, and I know they're different from the way I learned them. And where did I learn them except out of my white Bible, the one that I read for years and years and years? I had other Bibles around here, but the one I read every day was my white Bible. And I knew it well. And when something would change, it would upset me so much. There's people who threw away their Bibles, burned their Bibles, quit reading it altogether. I kind of set it aside, but I'll never get rid of it.
Do you think that's part of it, is just to make you upset at the Bible then, if that's the reaction people are getting?
Oh, do you want to hear my paranormal experience?
Yeah, totally. I'd totally want to hear your paranormal experience.
It's a short one, and
Okay.
it's from a few years ago. I had been babysitting 2 little boys quite a bit, so I had just different toys around my apartment sitting around. Even when the kids went home, I didn't pick up everything and store it. Everything was sitting around. And all of a sudden one night, I was the only one here. I believe I had 2 cats at the time, possibly only one. But either way, nobody was around this toy. It was like it was a car, and the kind where you just pull it backwards, vroom, 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 and rev it up and let it go.
Yeah.
Pull it backwards 3 or 4 times and let it go on the kitchen floor, right? Well, that thing was sitting on a little shelving unit, where there was art stuff, crayons, coloring books, whatever. But anyway, this car was sitting next to another car that was just a standard toy car, didn't do anything. And the one that revs up sat there and started making a high-pitched squealing sound. I don't remember now if the wheels were turning. I believe the back wheels were sitting there spinning. Nothing had touched this thing or been around it or anything.
But it wasn't like driving, though? It didn't drive?
No, well, get this. I don't remember if I called or texted my husband wherever he was or my friend or somebody, and I said, you're not going to believe this shit. This is freaking me out. And whoever it was, they suggested go sit it on the kitchen floor, see if it runs without you revving it. So I did. I sat it down on the floor, and it did. It took off across the fucking kitchen floor.
Did you just leave the house or what? I would have just left.
I was about ready to smash it with a hammer or something. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed it and I was like looking for batteries in it, but it didn't take batteries. I didn't see any port for batteries anywhere on that thing. And so I started to notice, and that was like the third weird thing and the biggest one because that's the one I remember, but that was like the third really weird, chaotic. Oh, there was another toy that was like buried in the toy box and the lid was on it and everything that started playing its music real loud one night, buried in the bottom of a toy box, nobody around it. And I started catching on that these weird paranormal, I call them paranormal, strange things kept happening whenever I had the Bible out and I was either studying it or I was praying.
Oh, you think you were agitating some demons or something? Or they were trying to break your concentration or something maybe?
Well, so I told the story to my brother, and he's not churchy at all, and I'm not even churchy, but he's not religious, okay? Either way, he kind of thinks it's a sham. So I tell him that whole story, and I go, do you think Jesus is reaching out to me or something? And my brother, who's completely non-religious, he goes, Mandy, Jesus wouldn't have anything to prove. And I was like, oh, you're right. Who would want to interrupt my prayer and dislodge me from what I was doing and pull me away from Bible study? It wouldn't be Jesus. It'd be the other side, right?
Right.
I don't remember. I didn't get rid of the toy car because a couple of years later in the toys. I didn't get rid of it because of that incident. I rebuked the force or whatever. I decided to pay attention to, okay, now I'm going to have prayer time, and anything that wants to interrupt that, I'd kind of talk to the atmosphere and be like, you ain't going to get me to turn my head, so don't even bother. Kind of rebuked it without being all weird. And it stopped.
Rebuke the demons.
Yeah, I just I said whatever, something off the cuff about, you're not going to interrupt my study, you're never going to make me stop loving the Lord and, give it up. Freaking me out and scaring me ain't going to make me not want to talk to Jesus, right?
Right.
It'd make you turn to him more. I don't know.
Facts.
I didn't grow up in a church or anything, but then I married a Catholic man. We raised our kids Catholic, and then we got divorced, and the kids continued Catholic school and got confirmed and all that. And they're content, but nobody in my family goes to any regular Sunday church anymore or anything like that. And there's nothing against it. It's just
right.
People don't go like they did 50 years ago.
Right. All
so
right.
I think you kind of learn.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna take another call.
Okay, good deal.
But the chat loved you, and call back another time when I do this.
I will. Need to catch back up on my truthers or whatever you want to call yourself.
Look up the magenta. All right. Thanks for calling.
I will. I'll get into that. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Bye. You guys vote binge, and then you vote next, and then you start screaming next, man. I'm trying to let you guys vote. I'm gonna actually shut it down, but I can do this again possibly tomorrow night because I got garage sales in the morning, and it's 1 a.m., man. I got to be out there grinding in about 5 hours. So, yeah, I appreciate all the callers. 2020, Running Fox. We had Owen Benjamin, Ken Wheeler. Who else did we have, man? I feel like I'm missing some. UAP's going live right now, JT says. So everyone go swing over to UAP. And I do appreciate everybody's time. Peace out.